Welcome back, everyone. This will be my brand new Marvel Fantastic Four movie video. There's a bunch of announcements that Marvel just made, so we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We're doing a giveaway for Disney Plus memberships. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and just post all your predictions for the movie on the video. We just saw John Krasinski fulfill all of our fan casting dreams. They actually did the thing, and he played Reed Richards in a version of the Fantastic Four in the 838 Illuminati universe. We're actually getting Doctor Strange 2 on digital later this month, so I'll probably do some deleted scenes videos when that comes out. But you probably saw the news that Jon Watts, the Spider-Man director inside the MCU, he's done all the Spider-Man trilogy so far, Spider-Man No Way Home most recently, was originally going to be directing the movie announced by Kevin Feige a couple of years ago.
And finally, I'm happy to announce a film about one of the truly iconic Marvel families. In fact, Marvel's first family, Fantastic Four. We're working on a feature now, and it will be directed by the director of our recent Spider-Man films, Jon Watts.
But he actually just left the project a little while ago because they confirmed that he's going to be directing Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland, Zendaya. Pretty much everybody's coming back. They're going to be picking up where they left off in Spider-Man No Way Home with the college arc for Spider-Man. I got a lot of questions during my Doctor Strange videos about who remembers what about Spider-Man and Peter Parker now, because they referenced Spider-Man several times during Doctor Strange 2 later in the timeline, but none of them know that Peter Parker is underneath the mask. They just remember that Spider-Man has done a bunch of stuff. They also revealed one of the other reasons why Jon Watts left the Fantastic Four movie is because in addition to Spider-Man 4, he's going to be directing one of the Star Wars live-action series. It's going to be called Wrecking Crew. It'll be set later in the timeline, and it'll star Jude Law. They just announced that last week, so we don't have any footage for it yet. So Kevin Feige is picking the new director of the Fantastic Four movie with the Marvel people right now, and currently the leading candidate is actually, you guessed it, Sam Raimi himself. That was actually a big surprise to me because Sam Raimi is known more as a horror and a comedy director, sometimes both, horror and comedy at the same time, like the Evil Dead movies are kind of horror comedies.
Sam Raimi's Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, that is a dream come true.
There were a lot of very Sam Raimi specific moments during Doctor Strange 2, like the way he used the camera, the way he used the jump scares trope as a horror thing, but also kind of in a comedic way. Even that second post-credit scene, the Bruce Campbell post-credit scene, was kind of an in-joke about the Bruce Campbell Evil Dead movie series. Like he looks at his hand and says, oh, thank God it's over, because during the Evil Dead series, his hand turns evil and won't stop trying to kill him. And it's very common for Sam Raimi to include Easter eggs for other Sam Raimi movies in movies that he does. So of course when they announced that Sam Raimi was like at the top of the list to direct Fantastic Four, Bruce Campbell was going off like, oh hell yeah, please let this happen. Probably because he's also hoping to get another cameo scene as a different character inside Fantastic Four. That would be funny, like a Bruce Campbell cinematic universe with him just showing up all over the place from the Spider-Man movies all the way to Fantastic Four. But the even bigger news, I think, is that supposedly John Krasinski is still the leading candidate to play Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. Supposedly the cameo scene that he did in Doctor Strange 2 was meant to be a trial run, so to speak, just to see how fans responded to it, and just to test out what his powers looked like on screen, just to serve as sort of a trial run for what it would look like if he used his powers. We got a little bit of him, like he stretched a little bit, but mostly it was Scarlet Witch turning him into spaghetti and him coming through portals. The whole thing with the portals is just teasing the whole Fantastic Four subplot with them traveling around to alternate universes using quantum energy, the same way that Ant-Man and the Wasp introduced quantum energy, the same way that Kang the Conqueror, who is related to Reed Richards, also uses quantum energy to power his TVA portals. That's why they look so similar to the portals that Reed Richards was using. You see, it's all connected all the way through the timeline, from Kang the Conqueror at the end of the timeline, all the way to Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers Endgame, Iron Man, what they did traveling through time, and then Reed Richards now in another alternate universe. It's all about all these alternate universes, all the incursions, and the lead up to the Secret Wars. A lot of you have also asked questions about that Illuminati scene in general. There were a couple scenes with the Illuminati. They were very brief. They were cool, but very brief. But when they were all together, if something seemed weird and you couldn't quite explain what, that's because most of these actors filmed all their footage for the movie completely separately. So for instance, John Krasinski was never actually on screen working with Scarlet Witch. That's why you may have seen that funny video of Elizabeth Olsen taking the lie detector test, passing when she says that she doesn't know anything about John Krasinski being in Doctor Strange 2. I never met this man. I never saw this.
Do you think this man is the smartest man alive?
No. I don't know him, though. No, I've never met him.
You were in the same movie.
I've never met him.
She's coming out truthful.
Never met him. I've met his wife.
Okay, then.
She was telling the truth there, because even though she was turning him into spaghetti, when she was actually filming that scene, she was acting against a stand-in actor, and Marvel was just going to swap in whoever's face wound up playing the character. So it was literally like a copy-paste situation, which is why some of his scenes might have felt kind of weird, because he was kind of acting against nothing when he was doing his part of that scene. The main reason why they do stuff like that is for scheduling. Like, it's just really hard to get actors in particular dates when they need to film stuff. That's the main reason why they didn't actually have Tom Cruise, Superior Iron Man, in the movie. Scheduling issues, because Tom Cruise was locked up busy filming the Mission Impossible sequels when they would have needed to film with him. And they just decided if they weren't ready to bring Robert Downey Jr. himself back, they weren't going to do a halfway version of Iron Man. Like, either it was going to be something really crazy or no Iron Man at all. But in the Illuminati's 838 universe, this version of Reed Richards was meant to be like the full fan service, fan casting payoff, because they had a full family from the comics. They didn't mention Johnny Storm or the Thing, but they were meant to be alive in this version of the team. And when I say paying off fan casting theories, the writer claimed that this version of Sue Storm that they referenced in the movie was meant to be Emily Blunt, John Krasinski's real-life wife. I think the deeper cut in this cameo scene was confirming both of his kids were alive too, Franklin Richards and Valeria Richards. Valeria existing also means that a version of Doctor Doom would exist in this universe too. People wondering when Doctor Doom is going to show up in a really big way in the MCU. The reason Valeria is connected to Doctor Doom, though, is because she was actually born in the negative zone in this really weird way, and he used his magic and combination of technology. Like, he is a character who is both based in magic and technology, like if Iron Man also practiced magic. And he helped her be born as a normal human. So thereafter, she wound up thinking of him as sort of this surrogate uncle in a way that Franklin Richards did not. And Franklin Richards is probably the most powerful character that Marvel's ever introduced in the comics just because of the way that his powers work. He can create entire universes out of nothing. In fact, at the end of the Secret Wars arc in the comics, Reed Richards winds up being one of the people to fix the multiverse, like repopulate it with all the different universes that were previously destroyed using Franklin Richards' power. And a couple of years ago, when Kevin Feige said the intention was for them to do their Fantastic Four reboot movie as Marvel's first family, he was actually talking about the original family, not the traditional nuclear family that you're used to thinking of when you think of family. Like, Kevin Feige was talking about the original family of 4 adult superheroes: Reed Richards, Sue Storm, The Thing, and Johnny Storm. And it should probably go without saying that the version of the team in the reboot movie wouldn't be the 838 universe Illuminati version. For obvious reasons, it'll probably still be set in present day for the most part, despite a lot of theories about that one Easter egg in Doctor Strange 2. There was an Easter egg for the 1960s that made people think that they intended to do the Fantastic Four movie as sort of a period piece, like the first Captain America movie. There was a line of dialogue when Doctor Strange was meeting the Illuminati and making fun of each of their different names, like, what's going on with this? When he meets Reed Richards and he says he's the smartest man alive of the Fantastic Four, he says, didn't you chart during the 60s? And that's meant to be a Fab Four Easter egg for the Beatles. But also, the Fantastic Four team was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in the 1960s. But basically, they're going to be trying to set up the main version of the team, the main version of Reed Richards in all these MCU movies, and he'll share a lot in common with what's going on with Kang the Conqueror, the TVA, quantum energy, along with Hank Pym, Ant-Man and the Wasp in their use of quantum energy. A character who does a lot of research and technology and crosses between different universes frequently, all in service of continuing this big storyline with the Incursions and the Secret Wars teaser. A lot of you also confused about the familial connection between him and Kang the Conqueror. Yes, they're related, but they're very, very distantly related. So Reed Richards and Kang the Conqueror are kind of like very, very, very distant half-brothers. So they only share a little bit of genetic material. They already said we're going to be seeing a bunch of different versions of Kang the Conqueror in different movies, like different iterations of the character from the multiverse. It sounds like Marvel is going to use him as sort of the focal point of the Incursions because of the Kang Multiverse War. Like, they're going to say that the Kang Multiverse War is part of what's going on with all the Incursions. So even if Kang isn't going to be the main villain of this new Fantastic Four movie, it sounds like there'll be a lot of Easter eggs for him too. But everyone post all your theories for this brand new Fantastic Four movie in the comments, and who do you want to direct it? I'll do more videos for the movie when we learn more about what's actually going on. There's going to be a couple really big trailers next week. I'm in the middle of doing Obi-Wan videos. We're also starting the Miss Marvel series, and the Boys series just started. I'm doing episode videos for that too. So links for everything down in the description. Make sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of those. Everyone click here for my Doctor Strange 2 Iron Man deleted scenes video, and click here for my brand new Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 4 trailer video. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.